welcome back to the Challenger League for WCS Korea. We had a ZBZ, and now it's time to go into one of the other two mirrors, a Protoss versus Protoss.
PvP coming up next. We have Hurricane. Was stuck in a traffic jam, that's why we had to change in the order of matches today. But now he's here.
Yep. And as you mentioned before, Hydra will go up against Congo in the final round, so he has to play the same matchup again. And we talked about this a little bit during the break. Probably going to see some different strategies out of him when he faces Congo. Probably not going to be the same.
Yeah, maybe one of the game matches is going to rely on the same strategy, but I would be surprised if he really goes into 3 games with the same moves, since Congo will have a lot of time to actually study his plays and see what exactly he can do against the strategy. But yeah, for now we have a Protoss versus Protoss coming up, and first, of course, he came down from the Premier League, whereas we have in Hurricane, one of the players that had to go through the first round, and he defeated Bunny. It was a pretty sweet and easy build order win that he had. They're very elaborate build orders that he used, and well, let's see what exactly First can do against him.
Yep, totally different matchup on the other hand, so PvP can be... You know, in Heart of the Storm, most of the time, PvP is actually decided within 10 minutes. Every now and then you see a rare occurrence where there are Colossi and Charged Zealots and Archons, and like sometimes, only when it's a full moon outside, and it's like also a Tuesday, it happens to be like you'll see a Tempest. But we'll see how this one plays out. Probably going to see aggressive builds from both.
Going into the game right now, PvP at WCS Challenger League. Colin Wood. Starting to the top left, we have for Team FX Open.
FXO Hurricane.
And he's going up against the Protoss to the bottom right of Belcher Vestige. Map number 1 in this best of 3. It is for LGIM.
LGIM first.
Not last.
Yeah. In this case, though, he's second. Not only in the intro, but in the order best of 3s. Yeah. He was supposed to be first, but Hurricane delayed him, and now he's second.
Yeah, you could argue he's the last Protoss player to be announced today.
Yeah. You know, he was supposed to be first, but it did not happen.
Well, actually, he was supposed to be second.
Well, I suppose second announced, but in the first best of 3, I mean, yeah. It's not his fault.
Yeah, so with First and Hurricane, we have actually in recent past a little bit of a better record in Protoss versus Protoss for Hurricane. The FXO player definitely making some waves. First, on the other hand, came down from the Premier League, and a lot of people are expecting him to at least win this round and go to the 3rd round of the Challenger League, if not straight back to the Premier League here. But Hurricane, he's a little bit on a run, and he wants to make sure that he has a chance in the Premier League here. So for now, let's see what he can actually do against First. Map number 1 is Belcher Vestige, and we have both of them with very similar build orders. Like, no differences here. The double gas, 1 gateway for them both. And the changes are probably going to come in pretty soon when we have the timings here for not only the course, but then also the follow-up.
Yeah. Well said. And I wonder, you know, on this map, it's a really... It's a really good map for Blink builds. But I don't... You know, Blink and PvP off of one base is something you very rarely see anymore. But DTs can be good on this map as well, just because there's a lot of places to hide pylons really close to the natural where you can run in. And we have seen Stargate play actually make a pretty big resurgence in Korea in PvP as well. So, I mean, it really could be anything. With PvP, you just have to sit back and wait, especially considering that in the current metagame, everybody's just taking 2 gases no matter what. There's no way for anybody to tell one way or the other about a build until they choose it themselves.
Pretty interesting pattern that they drew here with the scouts.
Yeah.
Even that was symmetrical.
That's very true.
Yeah, scouts are in the main base, and the only slight difference that we have here is the timing for the Mothership core, which will be, of course, down for both players.
And he actually chrono boosted a Sentry and a Mothership core, so this is a weird build by First.
Well, Hurricane is going into the Twilight Council, so we might see the Dark Shrine, we might see Blink. One of the things that you always have to account for, we mentioned this in past broadcasts quite often, is that your opponent will scout you with a hallucinated Phoenix. So hiding things is always a little bit iffy, and Hurricane is actually a player who did that in the first round against Bunny, so if he would have thought that he could surprise his opponent, yeah, he would most likely have proxied his structures.
Yeah.
So I guess that Blink is actually a little bit more likely for him than DTs, but we'll see. Maybe he's absolutely completely fine going into the DT build, opening up with a DT, taking expansion behind it, and just trying to apply.
You're right, it's Blink, and he didn't make any more probes, so that makes it even more likely, and I feel like actually the reason why he's going for this is because he saw the Chrono on the Mothership Core and on the Sentry, and if you see that, you know your opponent is going to try to take a fast expand, and if your opponent fast expands, you might actually just be able to kill him with good Blink Micro. If he gets a Mothership Core out, which he will when he starts to rally across the map, if the overcharge goes down naturally, he can blink into the main, and vice versa.
Both of them now with the pylons on the other side of the map to have a warp in point, but Hurricane definitely the one who's going to play more aggressive. He doesn't even have a base started, and that's something that First is going to just double check in a second. The probe already coming in, and the Stalkers are a little bit too late to actually prevent that probe from scouting what's happening. So First already is very well in the know that there is something aggressive coming his way. And his defense is actually a Dark Shrine, so this makes things very interesting since Hurricane is completely on the clock. If that Dark Shrine finishes and he gets DTs in the base, he doesn't have any detection, like nothing.
He also scouts the Blink. And the Dark Shrine was blind, but actually it's the best thing that he could have done here, and so he's very lucky for that. And now he knows that he's in a great spot. He's just going to hold up here in the ramp. He will lose a Nexus if Hurricane decides to commit for that instead of attacking. There's no way he can hold it. And actually, that was a bit overzealous because he knows it's Blink. He can actually just go into the main. Of course, the DTs will be great for defending that, but they're not ready yet.
This looks very much like, I mean, if Hurricane doesn't pull off some good moves, it's going to be GG. Once the Dark Shrine is done without detection, you can just warp one in the main base and one to the top left, and then make sure that it's in the main of his opponent. Hurricane needs to have something here to see what's going on. He needs at least the scouts so that he can start his tech.
Exactly. I mean, he's not even going to the back here to see what's going on. If he could kill the Dark Shrine, that would also be something. Or if he could unpower the gateways, there's no DTs warping up, but he does not target the pylon. One DT warps in. Robo on the way.
Finally, the DTs are there. And Hurricane is in so much trouble right now. All of those dogs are going down. The DT is in the main base already. The Robo has been started. And I think he's going for a proxied Robo too, just in case. But the only thing that Hurst has to do is kill probes.
Yeah. You know, if he had targeted that pylon, this could have been a totally different game. He didn't, of course, know that DTs were coming. Now he's going to try to micro his heart out here down to the south. He needs to pull his probes away. Putting them all in the assembler like that is actually just going to make it easier for the DT to kill them. So I don't know why he's doing that, but
DTs that are defending against the Stalkers, and Hurricane is already running out of steam. First is looking strong here. There will be another warp in. He cannot deal with the DTs. The Observer is going to be way too late. Only 9 probes left against 25. There is no way he's going to take this.
Even with the Observer, I mean, what is he going to do? He actually barely mined enough gas to get an Observer in the first place. 4 Zealots coming in here.
And the problem really is that even with the Observer, he shouldn't be able to make it work. Well, he has the Zealots right now, so First still needs more units.
Yeah, he really does. And there's the Observer. It's out and it's ready. But he only has 1 Observer.
Oh my god, if he catches it! He actually moves in. He's going to catch all of them. Here comes the Arc, and he needs to now save his main base. He's the one with the income. He's the one with the economy. He just needs to save his base here. Why not a Sentry? Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess because Blink.
Yeah,
and he has the Observer. Okay, so I feel like an idiot.
Yeah, me too. The Observer, he has actually like really good point. But
still, I mean, actually, he may win this game. This is crazy. He's got to fight with the probes here. The DT doing some work at the front.
Why did he throw away those DTs? But still, now the Zealots are going down. A lot of the Harvesters are, of course, dead. The Harvester count for both of them is once again at 3 and 2-1, but still, the bases and with a better number of Stalkers in favor of First now.
He wants to try to blink away here, saves 2 Stalkers, 1 probe left for both players, but 2 Nexi means that this is going to be game, and he's even killing the Nexus at home.
And he has enough money now to build 2 additional probes, but that was a little bit closer than it should have been, because First sacks 2 of his DTs.
Yeah, well, I mean, he didn't know that there was Observer coming out right there, but you still could have split them, you know?
The problem is, why do you walk out with the DTs anyways? You already annihilated your opponent's base. You have a DT there that kills all of the Harvesters. You are killing the Nexus. Why put the DTs out of the base? Yeah, exactly. He walked already in 3 Stalkers. If he keeps the Stalkers and the DTs together, then it doesn't matter. But as he loses the DTs, it's suddenly an overwhelming number of Stalkers and Zealots against only 3. So that was a little bit closer than he should have been. But nice move here. The Dark Shrine, definitely the winning move in this first game.
Yeah, he got a little bit lucky with it initially, but he also did scout to confirm what he was up against. And I liked Hurricane's build. It was a good choice for the build that his opponent chose. Just did not expect the Dark Shrine. And had he seen that, everything would have been different. But as it is, Hurricane down a game here. First up 1. Frost is map number 2. And if game number 1 is any indicator, we're going to see a crazy game in game number 2, just like number 1.
Yep. Going into game number 2 now. First versus Hurricane at WCS Challenger League round 2. Colin Wolf.